to another episode of Cutting Chai with HelloUni, powered by Imperial Overseas. I'm Disha, Senior Counselor from the Santa Cruz branch, and we have Maggie today with us from Suny, Binghamton. How are you feeling? All good with India?
Absolutely. So I've been to India over 20 times, and it's always a wonderful visit here, especially anytime I get to come visit the Imperial team. You guys always take very good care of us.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, so can you tell me something about Suny, Binghamton?
Absolutely. So Binghamton University, or Suny Binghamton, Suny, is part of the State University of New York system. Not that we're competitive or anything, but we are the top ranked of the different Suny campuses. And one thing that is very good to know about Suny Binghamton is we have a Nobel Prize winner on our faculty. His name is Stan Whittingham, and he won the 2019 Nobel Prize for Chemistry.
That's awesome. And if I may know, you have any entrance requirements like GRE and IELTS, TOEFL, or any extra requirements for any course?
Yeah. So for our master's and PhD programs, we accept TOEFL of 80, IELTS of 6.5, PTE of 53, or Duolingo of 105. Any of those tests is fine. There's no preference between them. GRE has been waived off for the last few years because of COVID-19. We're not sure yet if we're going to bring the requirement back for 2025 admissions, but if we did, we're usually looking for a score above 300, maybe close to a 310, with a quantitative of 160 or higher.
Okay, that's great. One question that I usually face, and I think that's a very common question, do you accept 3 years of bachelor's?
Yes, so Binghamton does accept 3-year bachelor's degrees. There's a couple of requirements around it, including ensuring that the university it's coming from is an accredited university by NAAC, I believe is the organization, and then also the number of credits that they got in the degree. So if they only studied for, say, like 80 credits, that wouldn't be enough to be a full bachelor's. So we do have to confirm the number of credits a student has taken.
Okay, great. And will you be accepting anyone who has not taken credential evaluation, or it's mandatory?
So that's a great question. Binghamton actually doesn't require a WES evaluation. Okay. We've been reviewing applications, especially from India, for over 10 years. And so our faculty are very used to looking at the different grading scales. They understand that, one GPA at Dwarkada's University is very different from the GPA at like IIT Madras, something like that. So they're very good at just reviewing the application on its own, no evaluation required.
Apart from that, like not going to academics and universities, since you have visited India so many times, so what's your favorite food?
Oh
Indian
man,
food.
the meal I tend to get the most like for dinner is dal makhani and naan.
Okay.
But breakfast is my favorite. So getting a dosa, getting a paratha with like paneer inside and then putting some egg on it and kind of wrapping it up and eating it, like so good. Idlis, our dean always says idlis stick to your ribs. They keep you full for a long time. So especially when we're traveling all over and going to different campuses, they're a great thing for us to have.
Great. And what's your favorite city?
Oh man, that's a trick. No, I genuinely have a different thing I love in each of the cities. I think Bangalore is a place I like to go because the weather is always like pretty mild. But nothing beats meter coffee in Chennai. So it wins some points for me.
Coming back to academics again, what's the maximum scholarship that you've given?
So the maximum scholarship would be everything. There are some scholarships, including something called the Gajwani Fellowship at Binghamton, and that is designed for students from India with preference for students from MSU in Gujarat. But if no one from there applies, it's open to anyone from India. That comes with a full tuition scholarship plus a 12,000 USD stipend to cover a student's living expenses. So obviously that's like the goal to get everything covered. But individual scholarships, I believe the highest amount is something like 10,000 USD.
Okay. And what's the most recognized program at Suny Binghamton?
Definitely the computer science is the largest program. So it's the largest program at the entire Binghamton University. And even though Watson College, where I work, we only have 5 departments, but we have more students than any of the other academic units at Binghamton. And a big part of that is because we have so many international students. Yeah. And of all of our international students, about half are from India. So we have a lot of connections here. And the computer science course in particular is very recognized here.
Okay, and that's like the need.
Yeah, it's very common, right? But I would say we do have other courses that are growing. Masters of Information Systems, especially if a student has a non-computer science background and they're wanting to move to IT, that's a good fit. We have a new engineering management program that's looking to be very popular. So
yes, it's again a popular program.
Exactly. So other courses are growing, but computer science is still the biggest.
Okay, and how do a student clarify for any assistantships if you're offering?
Absolutely. So teaching assistantships, there's actually no separate application for those at Binghamton. If you're admitted, you're automatically considered for those opportunities, but usually teaching assistantships do go to PhD students.
Okay.
One thing that is a big change happening this year is that the research assistantships are actually going to go online in our Higher Bing system, which is where students apply for any on-campus job. So the hope is that that will make the positions a little bit more accessible and equitable, because instead of it just being, a faculty member knows a student and so they give them an assistantship, now it's a competitive interview process. And so more students will have a chance to go for those opportunities.
That's good. So one last thing, Maggie, is that do you have any special message or any recommendation or any message for the students who are willing to apply to Suny Binghamton?
Absolutely. I think the main message I would want to give students is that Binghamton is very invested in your future. It's not just about making sure you're a good student in your 1 to 2 years on campus. We're really investing in that return on investment for you. So for our class of 2022, 96% of graduates from India had jobs in their field within 6 months and an average starting salary of over $95,000 US. We understand that's also very important for parents. If you're going to be investing in this degree, there needs to be a good return. So I want to make sure that students know that Binghamton is very invested in ensuring you're successful.
That's great. Thank you.
Of course.
So can we have a toast with
let's do it.
Chai?
Yeah, besides filter coffee, it's my favorite drink.
Yes.
So cheers.
Cheers.